All right, so what do you got going on in your life? You're dating and something going on, and you're just really not sure if you should continue to date the guy or ditch the guy. It's the Bert Show's Ditch or Date.
She wants to know, should she ditch a date? Make a move or wait? Should she keep him or dump him? She wants to know if she should banish him or be smashing him, bury his bones or jump him.
Strangest first date ever. A funeral, that alone. If you just heard that and you heard nothing else. Cassie and Mo, first date, funeral, you hear nothing else, ditch or date.
Ditch.
I would actually say date.
Date?
Yeah, because if somebody takes you to a funeral for the first date, I would imagine it was like a situation they genuinely could not help. And if you went, you must really like the person, so you might as well date them.
You might as well get married right after it.
In the church.
No way. Funeral, no. Graveyard, okay.
Yeah, you are like that, aren't you? You said that before.
Like, you could have a really nice picnic in a graveyard.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm being serious. I did it like a couple of summers ago. It was lovely.
You had a picnic in a graveyard?
Yeah, it's like a historic graveyard, though. It's like Oakland Cemetery, so there are like famous figures there. They do ghost tours. Like, you are meant to go and walk around the graves, and like, I'm not sitting on top of a grave
It's
eating.
still a bunch of dead people there, man. It's like, what is it? It's celebrating Tim Burton's birthday or something?
No, it was just the most peaceful place in the city. I had to be surrounded by dead people in order to get peace and quiet.
And in this city, that might be the only place to go.
When I lived in L.A., they used to have movie screenings in the cemetery.
Nah.
Yeah, it was huge.
No way.
Nah.
No way.
Huge.
She says, I'm feeling conflicted and I need your opinions. I recently went on a first date with a guy I met on a dating app. First part of the date was great. We had dinner at a nice restaurant with drinks, had great conversation. After dinner, we left the restaurant and he asked me if I'd be open to stopping by a party with some of his friends. Now, I have to admit, I was nervous about meeting his friends on the first date, but I agreed to go anyway. However, when we arrived at the quote-unquote party, it was not what I was expecting. Turns out that it was a post-funeral gathering for one of his friend's sisters who had just passed away. Everyone was dressed in black, and the mood was obviously somber. Absolutely never date this person again. I was mortified. It was the worst way to meet his friends, and I'm sure they didn't appreciate it either. I let him know how wrong it was to do that, and he admitted that it wasn't his best judgment, and he apologized. That's a bit of an understatement.
A little bit.
Well, okay.
I might have got that one wrong.
Now I see your point. Now, he's asked me out on a second date, and I'm not sure what to do. I can tell that he's genuinely sorry for what happened. That said, I seriously doubt his judgment in general. I mean, it's not fair to spring something like that on someone, even if it wasn't the actual funeral gathering. I also question the type of person he is for missing the actual funeral to go on a first date. That seems like he's a pretty crappy friend. So I'm torn. Should I give him a second chance? Or is this a red flag that I should pay attention to? Mo, you're the single one on the show. What you got?
I was trying to find a way. I really was to try to understand his logic in this situation. But after the email, I don't see how you could possibly do that. I mean, for one, obviously his judgment is a little bit off. And I would think that might be a problem if you continue to date him. Because if he made this kind of decision, I feel like this won't be the first or the last time. And for him not to just simply communicate with her that that's where they were going, I think that would have saved everything. And that wasn't hard to do. And third, I completely agree that if your friend's sister's passed away, you didn't even go to the funeral. you went to a date instead, and then just showed up to the after quote unquote party with a woman who had no idea that that's what y'all were doing. I see no reason you date this guy again.
So many red flags.
Yeah, it's not just one red flag. Bad judgment, bad friend, and he lied to you about where he was taking you. Like, across the board, run as fast as you can.
So this dude, I am guessing, just to give him some benefit of the doubt, because this is nonsensical. He must have been, like, jockeying for this date for a long time. and did not, under any circumstance, want to give it up.
His friend's sister died.
He's not giving it up. This girl's too hot.
If she said no like 3 or 4 times because something came up, and then finally she's like, okay, I'll go this one time, it would have to take a lot for me to cancel that day.
Even if your friend's sister? Or think of a friend doing that to you. You have sisters.
I'm not doing it. I'm just trying to find some kind of debate point here, and that's the only one I can come up
You
with.
grasping at straws.
Yeah,
It's tough. We got nothing here.
Absolutely not. Zero. No chance.
The Bert Show.